Welcome to Pemberley Farm. Well, I want to say Happy New Year, except we're several days past New Year. I realize this is going up a little bit late. Usually things like this would go up on New Year's, but we all have had the flu. We got sick the day before Christmas and we're sick for days and days. So you just take opportunity when you can. So that's what we're doing. So Happy New Year to all of you. I have notes here because I'm old and there's things I want to say, things that I wrote down, and I don't want to forget any of them. And so I have notes so that I don't forget. All right. So one of the things I've never done when it comes to New Year's, everybody does resolutions and they keep them for maybe 24, 48 hours, maybe a month if they're really good. And I realize I don't mean to make that a blanket statement. I know that there are people who make resolutions. I don't generally, and to me, people are too flippant about resolutions as a general rule. Again, I don't want to paint with too broad a brush. But in thinking about this year and how I wanted it to go in my life personally and in our business, our farm business, and just all areas of my life, there's a word that kept coming up into my heart and mind. And I've never chosen a word for the year. People do that a lot of times. They choose their word for the year. Well, I've never done that. I never saw the point in that. But this year I did. And my word is intentional. And I really feel that this year I need to be intentional in everything I do, in all decisions that I make. Now you might say, well, you should be intentional all the time. Well, that's true. You should. However, you don't always. You're not always. And so if I'm more conscious of that word and what it means, then I'm more likely to truly be intentional in the coming year. So what is the definition of intentional? Intentional means done on purpose or deliberate. And so when you are intentional about something, you choose to make decisions and take action on what's really important to you. You weigh everything out, you look at everything, and you deliberately make a decision about what you should do in whichever area of your life because it's important to you and it's something that needs to be done. So it means being clear up front what you want to achieve. Well, so if you're clear about what you want to achieve, then how do you go about that? So that's the next thing. You said about making a plan. Well, maybe you don't want to call it a plan. Maybe whatever you want to call it is fine. But establish steps toward meeting the goal that you have set for yourself. And so that's what we are trying to do this year. I'm including parts of my family in this, the people that are involved in our family business. We are going to be more intentional in a lot of areas this year. It's a way to make things happen instead of just shooting from the hip. So, again, not a resolution. It's not a resolution. So, what am I going to be intentional about this year? Well, for me, there's 5 main areas. First and foremost are relationships. And in relationships, first and foremost in that is my relationship with God. Now, if you're new here and you don't know, we're a Christian family, and I believe that my relationship with God is the most important thing, because if my relationship with Him is right, then my relationship with everybody else will fall into the proper place. And so first and foremost, my relationship with God. Then with my husband, my children, my grandchildren, my friends, it just, it spreads out from that. People that I associate with in business, all of those things are important. But first and foremost is my relationship with God. Then the other the other area that I want to be intentional in is time. Now, how many of you can say amen to that? Because we waste so much time. We do. Sometimes I feel so guilty about wasting so much time in things that just are not that important and were not even an issue in my life or should not have been. And so So the first thing is quit wasting so much time. So, you can't get time back. Once it's passed, you can't get it back. And believe me, I'm 70. I'm almost 71. I'll be 71 in April. And so I understand really well you can't get time back. And so this year I want to be more intentional personally about using my time wisely. I want to weigh the things that I do or the things that I watch or whatever it is, the places that I go. I want to choose those intentionally and be wise in the time that I spend. Number 3 is money. Well, again, I want to stop being, I'm not a spendthrift, but I want to be more intentional about how I do spend money. I think that we all need to do that, especially, with the way things are in the world right now, with inflation and all that's going on. Everything's getting more and more expensive. So we need to truly be intentional in how we spend our money. Is that something we need or is that something we want? Now, that doesn't mean that you can't splurge every so often. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, it's got to be regimented and I don't mean that. But we should be more intentional about how we spend our money and not just spend it because we have it at the moment. Because sometimes you need some later that you spend it on frivolous stuff and you're in trouble. And so, therefore, I want to be more intentional, not just in my personal life as far as spending, but as far as in my business as well. Do we need that? Is that something that we can do without? Is it a need or is it a want? And so I plan to truly look at that more intentionally this year. Health. Health is the 4th one that I want to be intentional about. Again, I'm 70, and so therefore I need to be more careful about what I eat. I need to exercise more. Now, I hoe and I garden and I pull weeds and I do all kind of stuff that is physical, but I need to do more, and I walk a fair amount just in what I do on the farm. But, we have an RTV and a golf cart, and so since we got that, I don't walk near as much as I did. But when we first got those things, we only had 15 acres and now we have 40. And so now it would be hard for me to walk all over 40 acres to do something. So they come in handy. But I need to be more intentional in moving as an older person. And again, what I eat. I need to think about the results of the choices I make. Can't we say that about everything in our lives? We need to think about the results of the choices we make. So number 5 is our farm business. So for any business to succeed, any business, you can't just shoot from the hip all the time. And I'm guilty of that. I admit it. And, I'm good at having ideas. I really am good. Just ask my husband. I'm good at having ideas that he has to follow through on because he's the one with the muscle. He's the one with the building know-how. He's the one that we depend on just about for everything. And so as far as building and stuff like that, because he can. But, he's 71, so he can't do it forever. My mom keeps telling me, Gail, he's just one old man. You don't want to kill him, So I want to be more intentional, though, about the goals that we set for our farm business and the things that we do. And so is it something that truly is going to be beneficial for us as a farm and as a family? Or is it just something that would be nice if we could, And so those are the kinds of things that I want to create an atmosphere that whatever we do, things is fruitful. I want it to be fruitful. I don't want it to be for nothing. I don't want it to be a waste of time or money or energy. And so, because all of those are in short supply. So that's what I want to do. I want my goals to create the atmosphere an atmosphere for them to be fruitful. So now, does all this mean that, oh man, you got to be all no fun, you can't do anything fun, you can't go anywhere fun, you can't, no, that's not what I'm saying. You don't have to be serious all the time, you don't have to be. But I'm just saying, especially in the bigger things, the decisions you make in your life, you need to be intentional. I need to be intentional about the decisions I make. I need to think about the outcome, the results of my decisions. So, actually, I think that being more intentional will give you more freedom to do the things that you want to do that are fun. I think it will give you more freedom because you will spend less time stressed over all the little things after the fact if you had been intentional about them in the beginning. Did that make sense? It does in my head. I'm not sure it came out right. So anyway, think about it. How do you want your coming year, this year, how do you want it to look? Then do something about it. It's up to you, just like it's up to me. I'll let you know at the end of the year how mine worked out. So, thank you for joining us here at Pemberley Farm. I hope that you will continue to follow along on our journey towards sustainability. Please like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and like our videos. Share, that really helps us out if you share our videos. And check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We are Pemberley Farm Homestead, just like here on YouTube. God bless you, and have a good day, and have a great year, because you had a hand in making it that way.